we as human beings, in our pursuit of happiness, have tried to alter our external situations in so many different ways. We have gone about engineering this world to our comfort and convenience. Particularly in the last 100 years, we have done so much of this external engineering that we cannot even recognize the planet. If we do any more engineering, we may not have a planet to live. To that extent we have done engineering. All this engineering in pursuit of human well-being. Definitely this engineering has brought comfort and convenience into our lives. As a generation of people, we are the most comfortable generation ever. Never before another generation of people have known these kind of comforts and conveniences. Today we have to admit that 100 years ago, what even royalty could not afford, today average citizens have. Most of you are driving chariots with 200, 400 horses, aren't you? With all this comfort and convenience, though our lives have become very comfortable, we cannot say we have known well-being, because true well-being happens to a human being only when he is feeling joyful, peaceful and blissful within himself. So we definitely cannot claim we are the most joyful generation on the planet or the most peaceful generation on the planet for that matter, definitely not the blissful one. In the very nature of things, no matter who you are, how powerful you are, you can never have the outside situations 100% the way you want it. Whether it's a larger situation of the world, or your nation, or your workplace, or even if you're just two people in the family, still outside situations do not happen 100% the way you want them. This is the very nature of life. We can manage them to some extent the way we want it, but never 100% the way we want it. I am glad the world is not happening 100% the way you want it. If everything happened the way you want it, where do I go? Where does everybody else go? We are glad it's not happening your way. Is there any other source of unhappiness for you? The only and only misery in human life is not happening the way you think it should happen. Now, the outside will not happen the way you think it should happen because it involves millions of ingredients. But at least your inner experience should happen 100% the way you want it. Because within you there is only one ingredient, that's you. At least you must happen the way you want yourself to be. Nobody in your life happens 100% the way you want them to be. Have you ever found anyone in your life who happened 100% the way you want them to be? Have you found one person like that anywhere? Your parents, your spouse, your children, your friends, has anybody happened 100% the way you want them to be? Not even your dog. These days he does his own thing Now, nobody happens your way, that's not the problem. This one is not happening your way, that is the problem. If this one person happened 100% the way you want him to be, if you happen the way you want yourself to be, would you keep yourself miserable or blissful? I think I can trust you on this one. If you happen the way you want yourself to be, I am sure you would keep yourself blissful every moment of your life. So the problem is not about your life not working the way you want it. The first and foremost problem is that even you are not happening the way you want yourself to be. If you cannot manage your own mind, your own body, your own emotion, your own energy, if you cannot manage this mechanism the way you want it, the chances of you creating your outer life the way you want it is remote. If your mind is not taking instructions from you, you're expecting the world to happen the way you want it to be is only by accident. If you're happening here as an accident, you're a potential calamity. On a certain day, a lady went to sleep. In her sleep, she had a dream. In her dream, she saw a hunk of a man staring at her. Then he started coming towards her. Closer, closer, closer. She could even feel his breath. She trembled, not in fear. And then she asked, "What will you do to me?" The man said, "Well, lady, it's your dream." What's happening within you is essentially your dream. At least your dream should happen the way you want it to be. We want the world also to happen the way you want it. But that'll never happen 100% the way you want it. But your dream at least must happen 100% the way you want it. Using technology, we are managing our outside situations the way we want it. Right now we have air-conditioned this hall to create the kind of climate that we like on the outside. Yes, the outside climate is now managed. Is it not important that you manage your inner climate? Is that not the basis of your well-being as to how your inner climate is right now? This moment, your well-being is not determined by what kind of house you're living in, what kind of car you parked outside, what kind of clothes you wear, where you are not, what you do and what you do not do. Essentially, your well-being right now is dependent upon how peaceful and joyful and blissful are you feeling within yourself. How pleasant are you feeling within yourself right now? That is your well-being. Essentially, in search of this pleasantness, you're doing everything that you're doing. All human activity upon this planet fundamentally is happening in pursuit of human well-being. You are well only when you're feeling truly pleasant within yourself. Whether you go to the bar, or you go to the temple, or you want to go to heaven, this is all you're seeking. You want pleasantness within you, pleasantness outside of you. You want your life to attain to utmost pleasantness possible. We want pleasantness on the outside too, but creating pleasantness on the outside will involve various ingredients, but creating pleasantness within has only one ingredient, that's you. And if you're incapable or if you're unable to create the pleasantness within yourself, the chances of you creating pleasantness outside is very, very remote. If you happen to meet any human being, when he is happy, when he is joyful, you will see he is a very pleasant human being. He will find a pleasant expression to himself. If you happen to meet the same human being, when he's unhappy, when he's feeling unpleasant within himself, he could be a very nasty human being. Look at yourself and see. If I meet you when you're happy, I'm sure you're a wonderful person. If I meet you when you're very unhappy, you could be a nasty person. That is okay, but how can I be pleasant within myself? Have you seen my neighbor? Did you meet my boss? Did you meet my mother-in-law? I've met all these people. Especially if your outsides are unpleasant for some reason. Is it not all the more important to keep your insides pleasant? Now the question is only, is it possible? There are many ways to understand this. Today it is common knowledge. Medical science has made this amply clear to you that every human experience has a chemical basis. What you call as joy is a certain kind of chemistry. What you call as misery is another kind of chemistry. What you call as anxiety is one kind of chemistry. What you call as tranquility is another kind of chemistry. Agony is one kind of chemistry. Ecstasy is another kind of chemistry. Every human experience has a chemical basis. Now I'm talking about an inner technology, a technology with which you can create the right kind of chemistry, where being blissful is not because of any external reasons, because your chemistry is blissful. You have a chemistry of bliss. When you're blissful by your own nature, now your life is no more in pursuit of happiness. Your life is an expression of your joy. Your life is an expression of your blissfulness. This fundamental shift from being in pursuit of happiness to be an expression of your joy is something that needs to happen to every human being. This is possible only if we understand and if we strive, as we have strived to engineer our outside situations the way we want it. Should we not engineer our interiority the way we want it? Should you not become the kind of person that you really want to be? Without understanding the basics of this human mechanism, if we blindly try to do something with this, the chances of we becoming blissful by our own nature is out of question. This is like, you got into your car, you don't know what these three pedals are, you just kick any one of them whenever you feel like it, you know what a jerky driver you will be? Let's do a simple experiment. You try this experiment right now. Keep your 5 fingers together, both these hands, place it facing down upon your thigh, gently placed upon your thigh, with your eyes closed. You just inhale and exhale, slightly deeper than normal, and notice where the maximum expansion and contraction is. You will notice the maximum expansion and contraction will be in the lower lobe of the lung, or you notice it in the diaphragm region. If you just turn your hands over, if you make your hands facing upward and do the same breathing, you will notice that the maximum expansion and contraction shifts a little higher up into the middle lobe region. Just turning your hand over, the very way you breathe is altering itself. This is not just about your breath. The very way the fundamental energies, the life energies function are altering themselves just because you turn your hands over. How many times in a day do you unconsciously do this? Now, you're setting your energies into your turmoil, hoping to be peaceful, hoping to be joyful. Life doesn't work like that. In this planet, unless you do the right things will not happen to you. I'm sure all of you are successful enough to understand that with your career, with your business and many other matters of the world, unless you do the right things will not happen to you. There was a time when many people believed that they could do stupid things and tell a prayer and everything will be okay. I'm sure you've evolved out of that. Unless you do the right things will not happen to you in this world. If this is true with the outside, why is this not true with the inside? On a certain day, a man fell into the septic tank. I want you to visualize yourself right up till here in filth. And he desperately tried to come out, he could not. After some time, he started screaming, "Fire, fire!" Neighbors heard this fire call, called the fire brigade. The firemen came rushing, looked all over the place, no fire. Then they found this man in the septic tank and pulled him out of the filth. And then they asked, "Why were you screaming fire?" The man retorted, "If I said shit, shit, would you come?" Unless you do the right things will not happen to you. Now, what is the right thing that I need to do about my life? I got the right education, I got the right kind of job, I even believe that I chose the right kind of partner in my life. I fixed everything right, but still, I'm not joyful by the moment. I want you to look at this. I'm not saying there is something essentially wrong with your life. When you were 5 years of age, how many moments of joy did you know in 24 hours? Today, whatever the status of your life, how many moments of joy do you know in 24 hours? Has it gone up or gone down? At 5, if you were that joyful, by the time you're 30, you should have been ecstatic. But generally, just the reverse has happened. Not because there is something wrong with your life. There is nothing wrong with the content of your life. It is just that you are somehow trying to bullshit yourself into well-being. The source of joy, whatever experience happens in your life, happens within you. The source of joy is within you, but the stimulus is outside. This is like, in 1940s, if you bought yourself a car, you needed 2 people to help you in the morning because it's push-start. In 1950s, 1 person would do because it was crank-start. Today, all your cars are self-start. What I'm asking you is it not time that you put your happiness, your joy, your peacefulness, your love, all the things which truly matter to your life on self-start? Right now, please see it's on push-start. When you were a child, you were joyful by your own nature. Today, so many things have to happen right for you to be happy. Let's say you went out today and someone told you, oh, you are the most wonderful person on this planet. Then you were floating on cloud, what number? Generally people say 9 out here. In South India we do 11. You're floating on cloud, whatever number. Then you came home, people at home told you who you really are. It crashes. Your well-being is right now so fragile. Anybody can make you happy, anybody can make you unhappy, anything can make you peaceful, anything can make you angry, anything can freak you in no time. Right now, your way of being is so deeply enslaved to external situations, or in other words, you're in a compulsive reaction to the outside situations. Unless we fix the whole world, the chances of you being blissful are out of question. That's how you're making yourself to be. On a certain day, a bull and a pheasant were grazing upon the field. You know the pheasant, the bird? The bull was grazing upon the grass, the pheasant was picking ticks off the bull. Partnership. There was a huge tree at the edge of the field. The pheasant very nostalgically looked up at the tree and said, "Oh, alas, there was a time when I could fly to the topmost branch of the tree. Today I do not have enough strength in my wing even to go to the first branch of the tree." The bull very nonchalantly said, "Oh, that's no problem. Eat a little bit of my dung every day. Within a fortnight, you will reach the topmost branch of the tree." The pheasant said, "Come on, what kind of nonsense is that?" The bull said, "Really, try it and see, the whole humanity is on it." The pheasant very hesitantly started pecking at the dung. On the very first day, lo, it reached the first branch of the tree. Within a fortnight, it did reach the topmost branch of the tree. It went and sat on the topmost branch of the tree, just beginning to enjoy the scenery. The old farmer who was rocking on his rocking chair saw a fat old pheasant sitting on top of the tree, pulled out his shotgun and shot the bird off the tree. The moral of the story is, many times even bullshit can get you to the top, but it never lets you stay there. So do not try to bullshit yourself into well-being by fixing this and that. If you want to be truly joyful, if you want to be truly peaceful and blissful, you have to see how this mechanism should happen. When your own mind is not taking instructions from you, where is the chance of you being peaceful or joyful? It has to be fixed from outside. Now this needs to be understood. What is it that you're striving for in your life? You want pleasantness within, pleasantness outside. If your body becomes pleasant, we call this health. If it becomes very pleasant, we call this pleasure. If your mind becomes pleasant, we call this peace. If it becomes very pleasant, we call this joy. If your emotions become pleasant, we call this love. If it becomes very pleasant, we call it compassion. If your life energies become pleasant, we call this bliss. If it becomes very pleasant, we call it ecstasy. This is all you're seeking. You're trying to achieve this in a million different ways, not realizing that the fundamentals of how you experience your life is happening from within you. When it comes to outside situations, each one of us are differently capable. But when it comes to inner situations, all of us are equally capable. What we can do on the outside is different from person to person, but every one of us is capable of being blissful and ecstatic by his own nature. Because where this is coming from, the source of who we are, is not different between one person and other. You are as capable as I am when it comes to the interiority. When it comes to the external, each one of us is differently capable. What you call as my body right now, this body is just an accumulation of breakfast, lunch and dinner. This is a heap of food, not a pleasant way to describe you. This is a heap of food, or this is a piece of earth that you gathered over a period of time. What you call as my mind is a heap of impressions. Now, this accumulation, how it happened? If you eat a banana right now, in the next 4 to 5 hours, this banana gets transformed into a human being within you, isn't it so? Who can make a banana into a human being? Right now, such a phenomena that you can make a banana into a human being is happening within you, but unconsciously. If you could only consciously transform this banana into a human being, you are the creator. This is the opportunity and possibility that you have in your life. You can either exist here as just a piece of creation, or you can exist here as the creator of your life. Now we are not talking about a belief system. We are not talking about a philosophy. I'm not talking about a teaching. This is a technology. As there is a technology to create external well-being, there is a whole science and technology to create inner well-being. As we are striving to engineer the outside world, if we do not engineer the interiority the way we want it, all the blessings, all the wonderful things that technology and engineering has created will go waste, because we will have the world the way we want it, but human beings are not happy. Human beings have no sense of joy or fulfillment within them, because that is never going to happen by fixing the outside. By fixing the outside, our life can become comfortable, convenient, but it will not bring joyfulness or blissfulness or fulfillment into our lives. That will only happen if we fix the interiority. And inner engineering is a possibility of you finding access to that source of creation within you, which makes a banana into a human being. If you have access to that, do you really have to be concerned about your health, about your well-being, or any other aspect of life? If you are in touch with the very source of creation, you can make your life happen the way you want it, internally and externally.